So one of the things that I mentioned in the introduction to the proactive communication series was that proactive communication strategies can help parents keep track of how many absences their student actually has. And one amazing way to do that is through regular postcards. Um, so one of the founders of this strategy is Harvard in their Harvard Proving Ground research series that they've done. And they worked with several school districts on this technique where they have a simple postcard that is mailed to every student and every student's family. And it includes simple information about how many absences that student has to date. Um, Now, this is not something I would consider recommending to districts if they start it from the beginning of this year. I think we need to separate this time of going back into hybrid from the time of comprehensive distance learning, because those are different strategies. What we recommended with comprehensive distance learning was to work with families and to send them digital updates on whatever information it was that families said that would be helpful to them, whether it was completion of assignments or classes attended, or how engaged the student was using a predetermined rubric. And those can still be fantastic strategies, but this one is much, much easier and evidence-based. And so I would recommend taking a look at Harvard Proving Grounds how-to series and looking at their personalized postcards as something that you might want to adopt for the last part of the year where we are in hybrid learning or full instruction. And if you look at that number right there, I mean, that's toward the high end of what communication strategies can accomplish. Is a 7.9% average decrease in chronic absenteeism is nothing to sneer at. That's quite a significant reduction, and can amount to a whole lot of regular attenders. The postcards themselves are really quite simple, and Hillsborough actually uses this strategy, and they have a really nice model that they've used. We created one here at LBL ESD, and so I'll make sure that you have a link to that postcard. And it's not fillable, unfortunately, but easily filled out by office staff, especially if you want to use it for more targeted students, or if a teacher themselves wants to adopt this strategy and fill those out on a weekly basis. So anyway, there are some options there. We'd also be happy to work with you on a fillable option as well. Something related to regular postcards that may also be an easier strategy for you comes from the Attendance Playbook, the collaboration between Future-Ed and AttendanceWorks. And in one of the research articles that they reference in that is in Philadelphia. And in Philadelphia, what they did was they were experiencing huge chronic absenteeism in their kindergartens and in first grade classrooms. And so what they did was they worked with AmeriCorps to get a couple of volunteers that would come in the morning for every single one of their classes. And they would report to families using the Remind app, and build relationships over time. Like, hey, so-and-so is late today, just wondering what's going on and if there's anything I could do to help. And over time, by gaining the trust of the people that they were communicating with in a very, very non-judgmental fashion, not only did they find ways to help some of those families that were experiencing real barriers, but statistically, it had a really big impact on their chronic absenteeism. and they experienced a huge decrease. So this is a really evidence-based strategy that can work really quite easily. It just, the devil is in the details, as with most things. And if you have questions about this strategy and you're interested in giving it a go, I would be happy to help you work out those details because it's a great one.